Karibu, Kenya, Jambo, everyone, welcome along to what is one of the most exciting and most unpredictable rallies on the championship calendar. Destination Naivasha, Kenya. We are ready for the opening run of Shakedown this morning, and you are joining us on a beautiful day, blue skies, high temperatures during this morning. It is pretty early right now at just 8 a.m. I'm Bex Williams. Alongside me is multiple Norwegian champion Eivind Brynildsen, and these are our championship leaders. Alvin Evans and Scott Martin into a brand new shakedown stage for us here in Kenya at Naivasha. Morning, Eivind. You ready for this incredible challenge this weekend?
Yeah, morning, Bex. Yeah, it's I'm excited. You know, it's a Safari Rally. It's a legendary rally, and I think it's a challenge, big challenge ahead of us this weekend with all the rain the last weeks. It's going to be a mud party, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's been one of the standout factors of the past few weeks. There's been a lot of rain. It is rainy season here. There has been a lot of rain over the past few weeks, which has made its mark on the stages, but that is the ultimate challenge of this event. The drivers have to adapt to whatever is thrown at them, and already you're seeing some muddy stretches on these stages. What's interesting here in Kenya, I mentioned it earlier, high temperatures in the mornings, so the stages will dry out, but typically in the afternoon it rains, so then they get soaked again.
Yeah, and you can see at the beginning of this stage, we're climbing up. It's quite hard, the surface. It's like driving on rocks in the beginning, and then you will find places here as well that's more rocky and more loose surface. So I think it's more like we have talked about in many other rallies as well. It's a marathon. You need to drive with your eyes, read the grip, and how fast you will enter all these mud holes. And it's a big challenge. And I think the smartest driver maybe will win this weekend, and maybe you need some luck as well.
I think you do need an element of luck out there. It is all about survival, getting through, being clever, having your own personal strategy with how to deal with the conditions. Let's listen in to Scott Martin.
Narrow, 34 right sharp clip. The late slot 6 right caution, that sharp trim. The 4 left plus clip.
They were super successful last year on the top step of the podium, Alvin Evans and Scott Martin. Oliver Solberg and Elliot Edmondson are on the top step in Rally Monte Carlo. They've got good experience here in Kenya, you know. 6th start now, it's a lot of years of experience, but this is going to be the one we're all going to be looking at to see what he can do in the Toyota Rally 1.
Yeah, the experience count in Kenya, and yeah, he showed us in Monte Carlo that he didn't need too much experience in the car in a used surface to do well, but yeah, in Safari Rally you need experience.
120. Cut left at end, slot 7 right sharp, hit cut of a bank, must hug, open, 50.
It's all a bit of a new format this year for Rally Kenya. We're kicking off obviously with Shakedown on Thursday. It's normally on Wednesday, and then we're in Nairobi on the Thursday. But today we actually start in Naivasha with 2 stages later on today.
120, keep left.
This is more narrow road now. You can see some grass in the middle of the road. It's more muddy again.
3 left on door, tips, flip.
There's huge factors to consider on this rally, and most notably when you're looking at the cars, there is a difference here in Kenya. These are your standard cars, however, they do have the snorkel attached to them. They do have reinforced grills at the front, but other than that, these are the cars that we see everywhere else.
It's the same cars, but you can see it's all the cars raised up really high. They're driving with a huge margin not to crash through and get stuck in the fesh. So it's difficult to drive the cars as well, because the handling is not the best. You need to compromise with be on the safe side and try to get the car be as fast as possible, but it's not so easy to handle a car driving with the ride height so high. And you can see almost in some junctions that he was kicking up a little bit on 2 wheels, because it's when the ride height is so high from the ground, it's a high risk as well to keep up on 2 wheels.
It is indeed. We try to predict what's going to happen every year, but this is impossible to predict. However, on Rally TV this weekend, there is a new facet to Rally TV, which is called a predictor, where you can put in all kinds of your predictions for this weekend. It's asking you a lot of questions, and there are prizes to be won. So join the community, use the predictor on Rally TV, and see if you can guess your way to some prizes this weekend.
Open of a finish, 60 kicks middle, 3 right, north of a crest, 70 brave.
That is our first time on the board then. Safari Rally Kenya very much underway for us. It is run 1 of Shakedown, ahead of 2 stages this afternoon. 2 tough stages, kicking off with Camp Moran a little bit later. What's it going to be like for Elfyn Evans being first on the road in these kind of conditions? That's what we want to know. We're going to hear from him very shortly with Molly Pettit at the stage end. There's so many questions you want to ask the drivers, though, when it comes to Safari Rally, because there are so many questions to ask about this event. It's so unusual. It's not like anything else we see on the championship calendar. Let's cross out then to Molly and hear from Elfyn, our championship leader.
Morning, Elfyn. Talk about the complete opposite of the ice and snow in Sweden. Just tell us what the challenge is going to be like for you this weekend, do you think, from first on the road?
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a tough weekend, not specifically for any road position, just, yeah, very extreme conditions. We've seen a bit of everything on the recce, and I'm sure the rally will be no different.
Is it the most challenging you've seen in the times that you've been here?
Yeah, it's definitely up there. Last year was already a big challenge, but yeah, this year looks even more, I would say. Cheers.
Yeah, I think many drivers would agree with him on that. As he said, so many different facets they've already seen on the recce.
Yeah, and like I said, I agree with Evans, because I think it doesn't matter if you're first or fifth on the road, because it's a huge challenge for everybody, and it's a bit of a lottery as well. In other rallies, you can see margin is quite small when they're driving. In Finland, it's high speed, small margin. Here you got some margin, but you need some luck, because all of a sudden you find yourself stuck in the fesh section, or you are ripping a wheel off due to a big stone.
All of us also can tell you a lot about being stuck in the fesh. We've seen that in the past. He will be targeting not to be doing that this time around. And there are some fesh sections within the rally, but it all depends on the weather, how much they remain, and what they kind of turn into when they do get exceptionally wet, if they come across them in the afternoon sectors of stage. Slightly slower than Elfyn Evans, then 0.4 of a second behind. And I think that's, for people who've watched this rally over the past few years, you'll know the unpredictability of the weather as well. The rain can just appear out of nowhere. Sleeping Warrior, I think we've had rain every single year on that stage, so we can almost guarantee it. But you get there and it's beautiful sunshine like it is right now, blue skies, and then out of nowhere, it's torrential rain.
Morning, Oliver. You look like you've had a pretty epic time already so far here in Kenya. Tell us a bit about your game plan for this rally.
It's been an incredible trip so far, you know, absolutely amazing to be on a wildlife safari, and yeah, this morning was definitely another safari. I mean, really a tricky stage, yeah, a lot of rocks, so I tried to be a little bit careful too, but it's going to be a proper challenge, definitely already today. It's going to be probably the hardest stage, so let's see. It's going to be a big challenge, but really cool. It's only safari once a year, you know, so it's a good experience.
It is a great experience. He's referring to Camp Moran, which is going to kick us off later on today. Make sure you are tuned in for the opening stage, every stage of this rally, in fact, because, like I said, the word unpredictable really does suit this rally. You never know from corner to corner how it's going to go for these drivers. Takamoto Katsuta has historically done well at this event. He, like some of the other drivers, is able to judge where he can push and where he has to pull back.
Yeah, the word judge, I think that's very much correct, because you need to read all the time, and read the grip, read the surface, and how fast you should enter a mud hole and a water splash. So Taka last years have been reading those conditions really well, and we have seen some places here already on Shakedown where you enter a mud hole and then directly into a very sharp corner, and the braking is difficult then.
6.9 seconds behind the fastest time through run 1 of Shakedown. Remember, this is just the opening run of Shakedown that we're bringing to you here. It's non-competitive, it's just for the guys to get a feel of the car, make changes if they need to, ahead of the opening stages a little bit later on. Look at those blue skies right now. It really is a beautiful day here in Kenya, but the rain is going to be rolling in a little bit later on this afternoon. Let's join Hyundai now.
Morning, Taka. This is a big favourite for you in the calendar. What are your thoughts about this year's Rally Kenya? Because it looks a bit crazy out there.
Yeah, it's been quite nice in our team. Car is very strong. But of course, a new challenge ahead, so it's even more rough in a few sections, and a lot of mud and water, so a little bit quite different than the last few years, but still we try to manage this tricky rally and try to get a good result here.
Liking the delivery on the Hyundai. Got some of the wildlife on the side of the car that we're going to be seeing. Taka mentioning there, you know, there are some differences this year too. And I think every year we've seen some differences in some way, shape or form. But that's all about adaptability and being able, as a driver and a team, to live up to the challenges, because you know, the engineers would have seen these stages, they would have had a good glimpse of what they're like. That's earlier in the week, however. They change, but you have to try and anticipate what they're going to be like.
Yeah, and I love changes because then it's a new challenge for everybody. They need to adapt, they need to read the grip, they need to learn the stages again. So they are very warm, welcome all the changes all the time.
Adrian Formeau completes the fastest time on the board so far with a 4:38.6. That's a good start for Adrian. We're all looking to see what Hyundai can do here. Remember, they were on the podium last year with Ott Tanak and Thierry Neuville.
Already on the onboard, I got some flashbacks from Sweden, but it seems to be a bit more difficult to turn in compared with the other onboards from the Toyotas. But still, it's a good time.
Sebastian Ogier into the stage now, double winner here at Safari Rally.
Yeah, that's a big smile. Morning, Adrian. Back here in Kenya, you've gone well here in the past. What do you think is possible for you this weekend?
Well, it's always a pleasure to come back to Kenya. We have always a very nice caribou, so it's always a pleasure. The Wally will be challenging, we know it's always like that, so I don't want to talk about this, but just one really weird feeling this morning is with the altitude. It feels like we have no power. It's really, yeah, it's really different than when we are low altitude. So, but for the rest, yeah, let's do a good rally this time.
Yeah, he mentions an interesting point there, the altitude here. We're almost 2,000 meters above sea level. I think it's 1,890.
Yeah, and it's an effect on the engine that we are running on high altitude, and it's all about trying to get that, trying to think that it's the same for everybody and try to use the engine in the right way, the right gears, the right revs, and I'm pretty sure all the engineers are in charge and full control, and they have changed the lights when you have to change gears if it's possible to do that, so, and to make some changes to make the engine work better. And the mapping as well.
It all comes into play, doesn't it? Let's take a look at Thierry and listen in to Martin Vidaga.
It looks like a little bit cautious drive. It's lifting the throttle quite a lot on all the fast corners.
I mean, for many people watching this, you know, we broadcast always run one of Shakedown. This is about getting a feel for the car right now. We're not looking at it competitively at the moment, even though we're showing you the time differences. It's the later times that I guess become a little bit more important on the last runs to see how much maybe they've improved if they've made some tweaks.
Yeah, but from a driver point of view and a team engineer mechanics, we are always watching on the first run.
Of course.
The first run is like a benchmark for the rally, where it's like how fast everyone's on Shakedown is the first run. But they will improve, do changes, and then they will go faster.
Fifth fastest for Thierry then. Let's cross that to Molly.
Morning, Thierry. The car is definitely looking very cool. Is it ready for the weekend? Are you ready for what's coming?
I don't think anyone can predict the final result here this weekend. It's going to be a good adventure, and I'm really looking forward. I mean, we need to find the fine line between going fast enough and not too fast. It's not easy, but yeah, hopefully the experience helps us to find that fine line and just try to enjoy it. The conditions gonna be horrendous at some point, so won't be easy.
He does describe it really well, doesn't he? You know, the experience is going to count. We do have drivers coming here for the first time, and it's going to be a baptism of fire for those drivers. Sebastian Ogier, though, knows how to win here. He has done it twice previously. He's back with us now for another go at Rally Kenya. 5.3 seconds off the pace at the front, which is held by Formeau right now. You had a brief chat with him this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, he was sharp, looking around the car, checking the seats, everything. He was checking his dampers and the ride height and everything. And I think the stage backs, it's getting more and more slippy. It's some water splashes dragging all the water out in the next corner, and it's you can easily lose a second or two when it's getting really muddy. So it's not getting faster, I believe, the stage.
Morning, Seb. It's good to have you back, and you know what it takes to win here, but you haven't been here for a couple of past years. So what are you thinking about this year's edition of Safari Rally Kenya?
Well, it looks more challenging than ever. I think everybody have mentioned that already, but yeah, the rain has been intense, so some section going to be very challenging. It's going to be about survival. So yeah, I think main target for everybody is stay out of trouble and see what happens.
And already stage one is looking to be a really tricky one, yeah?
Yeah, straight away you can see big gap for sure.
Wow, that's the prediction then from Sebastian Ogier, our reigning world champion.
When he's saying it, you're already going to see big gaps on the first stage. And we just talked about it with this evolving of the stage. You can see here in the left-hander here, it's more and more mud dragging into that corner, and you drag the mud further into the corner. And I think the further down you start, it's getting more and more slippy, and the distances will be bigger between the cars.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. Do you know what, though? As we watch Sami Pajari here, we're all going to need a new word for challenging this weekend. I'm throwing that out to everybody who's watching right now. Give us some new words, because we're going to be using it an awful lot, I feel. Sami Pajari, then, I think definitely one to watch this weekend. We saw a really great performance from him in Sweden. It was a bounce back after disappointment at Rally Monte Carlo. Just a handful of seconds off the pace here, fourth fastest for Sami Pajari.
When I was over to Toyota this morning, Marco was sitting in the car all alone, like he's found his own zen. He was just waiting there and trying to...
A zen moment.
A zen moment. Nobody was around the car, he was just inside the car.
John Armstrong, Shane Byrne will discover the Safari Rally this weekend, and I think we're all keen to see what kind of performance they can put in. They've been really interesting to watch over the first two rounds. You can see on the side of the cars a tribute to Pavel Hortek from Skoda, which all the cars will be carrying this weekend, which is a nice touch.
Morning, Sami. Nice hats. Back in Kenya, how excited are you for this rally?
Of course, we are excited. Toyota has been normally really strong on this rally. But yeah, this is more like an adventure, and this year won't be an exception, I must say. It's looking quite tricky on the stages so far. So yeah, it will be a long race, but I need to be clever and manage the speed as well.
From what you've seen out there, what is going to be the biggest challenge?
There has been recently a lot of rain on the stages, so simply the stages are quite rotted and bad condition already, so that's the thing.
Let's talk about that as we watch Esa-Pekka Lappi right now. Sami Pajari makes a very valid point. There has been a lot of rain, so it has washed parts of the stages away. There are some big ruts as well, which can become quite hard when they're baked by the sun. That's difficult, Ivan. Tell us why.
Yeah, because then you can easily knock the tire off the wheel, the rim. You get punctures, you can break some mechanical parts when you hit those ruts really hard. So it's a really good point from Sami there, that it's almost like you said, it's baked like in the oven, this mud, and then it's really there. It's getting really hard. So the ruts will be a challenge, the places where it's dry, and it will be a challenge where it's really wet as well.
Esa-Pekka Lappi then pulls up at the stop control. It's not his first rodeo in Safari, of course. as we watch Josh McAlean.
Good morning, welcome back to Kenya. How do you predict that this rally is going to go?
Well, I believe it's the same lottery as you know, in Europe, you just buy a ticket and you wish for the best. So I think it's going to be a bit like that. We don't really know what's going to happen, how much roughness we're going to face on these muddy places, which we couldn't see on the recce. So it's going to be very wild this year.
Lottery, wild, bring it on! That's what I say.
Bring it on.
Honestly, can't wait for the action to get underway a little bit later on this afternoon.
But I think actually this weekend, Bex, one of the strongest competitors this weekend it's John Armstrong, because I think he's in the mood like he will do his job, try to be clever, just try to in his own pace. And I think that will pay off in the end of the weekend. Too many talk about luck and everything, and I think in the end of the day you make your own luck. Try just to focus on your own rally, and I think John, with his kind of little experience compared with the other drivers, I think that will pay off in the end of Safari Rally, being just try to be clever, do his own rally and enjoy.
I'm keen to hear his thoughts at the end of this shakedown stage. 9.2 off the pace at the front. That front time still held by Hyundai's Adrien Fourmeau right now. And if you are just joining us, welcome along to the coverage. We'd love to know your predictions for what will happen out there at Safari Rally Kenya. It is unpredictable. I've said this right throughout the coverage so far, but have a go at it. Have a crack. Who's going to be the top three? Really keen to see what Gus Greensmith can do on his first rally now this season in WRC2. Brand new steed for him with the Toyota.
You can see a little bit up on two wheels there.
Morning, John. What do you make of this adventure that is Kenya already before the rally started?
Yeah, it's been some adventure before we even turned a competitive mile. Yeah, the recce was something I've never seen before with the big swamps, as I say. I was joking, I think Shrek might be angry. We're driving through a swamp, so. But yeah, the weather changes very quickly here, and it's a great challenge, and it's just brilliant to be here. So let's see if we can make it through.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think for both these guys, Josh McAlean obviously has experience of the event. Josh has seen it now. He understands how difficult it can be. But they need to, in a sense, do their own thing out there.
And it's a little bit more easy for John than Josh, because Josh knows that everybody expects a little bit more.
Yeah.
Automatically puts some pressure. With John, he knows that nobody expects anything from him. So it's easier just to dance through and a little bit go happy, go lucky. You could see how the chassis was behaving with this little kick, and he was up on two wheels as well. It's difficult to drive a car really fast when the ride height is so high.
Time for Josh McAlean then at 4:50.3. That's 10th fastest through. He'll be chatting with Molly Pettit, who is at the stop line for us. And she's going to be at the stop line of the opening stage later on, where Sébastien Ogier said expect big time gaps between the drivers there. As we welcome Gus Greensmith back, we also welcome Robert Verves back. A really exciting Estonian driver. We saw some brilliant results from him last year, most notably at his home event, of course. We'll come back to Robert in a second, though. Let's chat with Gus.
Morning, George. I've got to say, the cars just look ridiculously cool in Safari spec. How does it feel to be back here? And, yeah, what are your predictions?
Yeah, it's super adventure. Recce in itself is quite crazy, but yeah, a long weekend ahead, many obstacles to come, but we're here to enjoy it and ultimately have fun and try have good pace.
Yeah, they've got to this weekend, haven't they? You have to try and enjoy it, even though it is going to be complex. I think, was it Thierry or Lappy mentioned the word horrendous in some sections. It's all part of it, and you know they know that. They're looking forward to it. You've got to get the enjoyment out of it. That's Josh McAlee, and then we just heard from Gus Greensmith. Very much in the stage now, and he's opted to swap to the Toyota Yaris Rally 2 car for this year. Remains with the same team, but just a change of car. Jonas Anderson alongside him. Kenya has been a good event for Gus over the years. He's really shown the best of his abilities, I think, on this event.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how fast he can go. I think he can do really well this weekend with his experience, with his WRC experience as well, with Rally 1. Everything in the package should be good for Gus and Jonas.
Now we've just been quiet then to see if we could listen into what they were saying, but they've stopped talking now. So it had a bit of testing prior to the event, before getting to Kenya as well as at the weekend. Let's find out what he thinks of the brand new Toyota. And we welcome back to the championship Andreas Mikkelsen. We've not seen him on a WRC event since Japan 2024. It's been a whole year outside of WRC. He did 3 events last year.
Lots of tyre pressure on the rear right. I don't even know if you felt that, but how are things feeling this morning?
Yeah, it was actually on the last corner, just in the mud, touching. Yeah, 1 puncture already, but yeah, it feels okay. Engine feels quite slow, but I don't know if it's the altitude, but we'll see.
What's it like changing cars?
Getting used to it. It's got a lot of grip, this thing.
Hat-trick of wins then?
That would be lovely.
Yeah, he will be looking for a hat-trick, I'm sure. Now, Robert Verves. We talked about, you know, the fact that he was super exciting to watch last year. He's really dynamic. And I think, again, he will be this year. WRC 2, we talk about the strength in terms of the quality of drivers. And I feel like, again, this year it's just gone up another level. I know Oliver Solberg has moved on to Rally 1 now. That opens up the playing field. But what we've seen so far in Monty and Sweden, and potentially what we're going to see here, the championship is wide open.
He's wide open indeed, and I think Robert is getting more and more experience, and I think he's a contender for the title as well. Still young, but a lot of experience, and a fast driver. He always push quite hard.
Yeah, a second behind the time of Gus Greensmith. It was interesting to hear Gus reference that he felt like a little bit of a lack of power. That is probably due to the altitude.
And I think it's a combination as well with the 3 cylinders. It's a new noise for him from the engine.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And with the altitude as well. And we know that the Toyota already, like Gus mentioned, it's quite a lot of whip. So I think those 3 factors make it a little bit strange for him on Shakedown this morning.
Fouls out of the bar now. Great Rally Kenya for him last year. He was in 3rd position on first time doing the event in WRC2, so super strong from Foul. Let's hear from Robert.
Morning, Robert. Season starts now. What are you making so far of Kenya and the challenge ahead?
Yeah, what can I say? I think it's gonna be a bumpy ride for sure. With the rain, we can also swim quite a bit. So yeah, not the easy for sure. Already here, it's quite many surprises with loose rocks and so on. So yeah, it's gonna be proper.
You a good swimmer then? You a good swimmer then?
Let's see.
I don't particularly want to see Robert swimming this weekend.
I like the fact that he's so calm and having some small jokes, and it seems like he's on a Sunday trip.
Now, Andreas Mikkelsen, as we said, back in the championship after a year's break from it. How is he going to fare against the rest, do you feel, you know, with the gap in time of competition? Because, like I mentioned, he did 3 events last year. They were small events.
Yeah, but at the same
It's a long time out of the car, but he does have a lot of experience.
He may be one in the whole field with the most experience. So I think it's, you know, it's some pressure that he needs to go fast as well.
Norwegian translation services?
Talking of some big rocks.
Okay. he will want to be in the mix right at the front of WRC2. He's not come back for anything less than that, has he?
No, and I think everybody expect him to be on the top as well with his experience from Rally 1.
We switch to another Estonian pair now. Robert Jurgensen.
Derecho 4 menos. Derecho 4 menos. 120. Izquierda 6 larga.
Andreas, good morning and welcome back. It's great to see you and Safari Rally Kenya. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's cool to be here. What we've seen on the recce is going to be a very rough rally, so it's going to be more about survival than speed, I believe. So we just had to set up the car thereafter, and there are some changes needed.
How is it to be back?
It's very nice to be back. Also, coming back to the green colors, it's a place I've been many times in my career, and it's always been a success. So I hope this one can be as well.
Yeah, worth noting as well, it is Andreas Mikkelsen's first time at Safari Rally Kenya. Now, you can hear, and we've noticed it with the Rally 2 cars, the horn constantly beeping, sometimes the flashing lights. That's all to warn the wildlife around that there is a car coming. Like I mentioned earlier, I was so impressed by Fowl last year because anyone's first time at Safari Rally, it is always an eye-opener, but he dealt with it so well last year, put himself on the podium. Just avoiding that really muddy section there at the end. 8 seconds off the pace of Greensmith, that's the benchmark time in WRC2.
It's difficult to be too safe or too fast, because you could see it was going really slow around that last corner. I think maybe you need to speed a little bit more up, trying to take a little bit more risks, because if you are too much on the safe side, you will also have 2 big gaps. So other drivers can get punctures and you can't catch them. So it's a fine line. It's difficult to judge if you're slow enough.
Great starlight shot of Diego Dominguez heading into Shakedown. Let's rejoin Robert. He was here last. Do you know what? I'll hold that thought until we spoke to
Good morning. It's been a while, so welcome back. Safari Rally Kenya in tricky conditions this year. What is your plan?
Well, yeah, it's been a while. It's good to be back, starting our season here. So yeah, it's just looking forward for the weekend. It's going to be really challenging. I think it's going to be quite tough for the car. So I think we will need to be quite clever overall during the weekend. And yeah, I hope we can enjoy and have fun.
So back to Romet, who was here last year, having a look at the stages on the recce, but then working for the team. You know, I remember going past and he was sweeping up after the cars had left to go and do another stage. So he was really put to task by the team last year. But that's all good work, isn't it? You know, because there are going to be opportunities. Well, the word opportunity is wrong, but there are going to be occasions where you have to work on the car. Working as a mechanic in the team just strengthens your knowledge. We saw John Armstrong spend a few days up at M Sport a couple of weeks ago to help build the Safari car, and that all helps with the knowledge of how things go together should you need to put them back together.
But I think in general it's really good to be a mechanic. You need to understand everything on the car, how it's working, and if some problems appears, you can fix them yourself with some guiding from the mechanics and the engineers back at the service park.
Roma, good morning. Probably the biggest adventure on the calendar. You ready for it?
You can't be ready for this event. On the last corner we had like a 1 meter stone in the middle of the road. I haven't seen such a big stone on the road before, so yeah, it's gonna be a crazy week.
Sounds like a heck of a stone.
But it seemed like it took the good line, the right line in the last corner, but Maybe that's why Fau was really going on the outside and if it's
Yeah, yeah, because Fau took a very dedicated line on the outside. Now we're with Diego Dominguez. Let's see if we can see anything from his perspective on this last corner. He was just avoiding, just like Fau was, that muddy sector there. Great time on the board for Diego Dominguez.
I was a little bit shocked. You could see he was pushing, but my
Ivan's
eyes...
face here is
like,
classic in commentary.
Whoa.
His eyes are wide. With a 4:55.3 from Dominguez, that's 5.3 seconds faster than Gus Greensmith. And welcome to the party, Diego.
I said Fau was maybe a little bit too slow, but Diego, maybe you're a little bit too fast. So if you meet in the middle, it'll be fine.
Balance, my friends, balance.
Morning, Diego. I'm just wondering, did you find a shortcut in there? Because you've gone like 5 seconds quicker than Gus, who had the fastest time before you.
Really? That's unbelievable. Well, that's good to hear. Then we need to know what we know what to do now. But yeah, tricky stage, fun one, and yeah, just didn't expect to go that fast, really.
So what's the secret? What did you do?
I don't know. No. Maybe the leeway. I don't know. It's a good way to start the year, definitely.
Well, that's a great reaction from Diego Dominguez this morning, isn't it? He's as amazed as we are here at that time difference. Adrian Formeau, though, has set the fastest time on run 1 of Shakedown, 4:38.6. Elvin Evans actually with the same time then. Oliver Solberg 0.4 of a second behind. Sami Pyrie is 4 seconds off the pace. Then it's Lappi, Ogier, Katsuta, Neuville, Armstrong and McAlean to take us to the top 10 with Dominguez, the fastest WRC 2 car through so far. Then it's Greensmith, Verves, Mikkelsen, Jurgensen and Zaldivar. And that's the way things look then after the first run of Shakedown. We're going to head in to the Naivasha service area now and catch up with Kiri.
Indeed, welcome to the service park and welcome to yet another Safari Rally Kenya. I hope that Shakedown gave you a little taster of what is to come in terms of the weekend. It is absolutely packed. It is just an incredible, incredible sight to see all of the animals that you can see throughout the weekend. Just an amazing array from giraffes and elephants and hippos and zebras. It is going to be one spectacular weekend, not just for the rallying, but of course for all of the animals as well. Well, we're in Toyota as the cars come back after that Shakedown. They'll be heading out for a couple more runs, but what is happening throughout the weekend? Well, we have got, like I said, action-packed 2 stages this afternoon for you. We've got a bit of a start ramp and then 2 stages. It is Elvin Evans that will open the road. He is leading the championship after that win in Sweden. Oliver Solberg after his win in Monte Carlo and not such a great run in Sweden leaves him in second, 47 points. Then it's Taka with the 30 points. Importantly, Elvin is saying that he doesn't think opening the road is much of an advantage or a disadvantage there. So that's how our championship standings are shaping up for this weekend. But it is important that we know that Elvin Evans will open that road. So that's the situation, and these are the times of the stages. So the schedule for the weekend is 2 stages tonight. We open with Camp Moran tonight, and then we open with Camp Moran in the morning as well on Friday. It's a Saturday and Sunday 8:15 and 8 o'clock start. That will round up the 20 stages of Safari Rally Kenya. By Sunday we'll know exactly who survived and what we're looking at in terms of championship points, but there is a long way between then and now, and there is a lot to tackle. You've heard the drivers mentioning it at the end of the stages. The water, the rain has become such a big talking point. There is so much excitement as we build up to the start of this rally, which will come your way in about 6 hours' time. So make sure you join us then. But for now, it's goodbye.